is 6th March and in this video we will get to know that what interesting happened today in science. My name is Ambika and I am here to tell you about the science events that happened today. So, without wasting any time, let's get into the video. So the first important event that happened on 6th March, that is Dawn spacecraft in Ceres orbit. Dawn is a retired space probe that was launched by NASA in September 2007 with the mission of studying two of the three known photoplanets of the asteroid belt, that was Vesta and Ceres. Dawn entered Ceres orbit on 6th March in 2015. That was 4 months prior to the arrival of New Horizons at Pluto. Dawn thus became the first mission to study a dwarf planet at close range. Dawn initially entered a polar orbit around Ceres and continued to refine its orbit. And the next important event is Biosphere 2. Biosphere 2 is an American Earth System science research facility located in Oracle in Arizona. Its mission is to serve as a center for research, outreach, teaching, and lifelong learning about Earth, its living system, and its place in the universe. After the first mission of Biosphere 2, the second mission began on 6th March in 1994 with an announced run of 10 months. The second crew achieved complete sufficiency in food production. And the next important event is DNA structure. So, in February 1953, James Watson and Francis Crick of the Cavendish Laboratory in Cambridge University had started to build a molecular model of the B form of DNA. And on 6th March in 1953, they submitted their first article on the structure of DNA to the journal Nature. Crick and Watson then published their model in Nature on 25th April 1953 in an article describing the double helical structure of DNA. And the next important event is Silly Putty. Silly Putty is a toy based on silicon polymer that have unusual physical properties. It bounces but it breaks when gives a sharp blow, and it can also flow like a liquid. So, on 6th March in 1950, Silly Putty was invented. The funny toy was silly indeed, as it could be stretched, pulled, and even used to copy comics from the newspapers. Silly Putty bounces like a ball and will break when gives a sharp blow. And Silly Putty is also known as Thinking Putty and is made of silicon polymer. It was originally created to be a rubber substitute for use in World War II. And the next important event is Frozen food. On this day in 1930, shoppers in Springfield became the first American to find frozen food in their grocery stores. A taste marketing program was designed to see if people would buy frozen food. And they did. Within a few years, Americans would think nothing of eating fresh, tasting peas in December. The transformation of the American diet was due to the intellectual curiosity and entrepreneurial genius of the man whose name was and still is on the packages. And the name is Clarence Birdsey. A largely self-taught naturalist, he spent 5 years as a fur trapper in Labrador. He summed up his achievement by saying he had simply taken Eskimo knowledge and the scientists' theories and adapted them to quantity production. And the next important event is Bohr's model of the atom. The Bohr's model depicts an atom as a small, positively charged nucleus surrounded by electrons. These electrons travel in circular orbit around the nucleus, similar in structure of the solar system. On 6th March in 1913, Bohr sent a paper to his mentor in Rutherford, and he describing how his new model for atomic structure explained the hydrogen spectrum. And the next important event is Aspirin. Felix Hoffmann, a young pharmacist working for the German company Bayer, the trademark name is aspirin, who was said to be seeking an effective pain reliever for his father's rheumatism. Felix Hoffmann had successfully created a chemically pure and stable form of acetyl salicylic acid in 1897, and it would later be marketed as aspirin. And the next scientific event is horseless carriage. In 1893, King Charles Babbage had a display at the Chicago World's Fair for his pneumatic hammer and brake beam for railroad cars. While there, he saw the self-propelled carriage designed and built by Gottlieb Daimler, inspiring him to begin designing his own car in Detroit. So, on 6th March in 1896, he test drove the first self-propelled carriage along Woodward Avenue and reached speed up to 5 miles per hour. And the next important event is first American AC power plant. Its alternating current. The AC demonstration system built in Great Barrington in 1886 by William Stanley, financed by Westinghouse, was the greatest achievement in AC power. The single event inspired George Westinghouse to dive into AC current system development with significant resources. And the next important event is periodic table. Science students know what is periodic table. The periodic table is a tabular array of the chemical elements organized by atomic number from the element with the lowest atomic number to the element with the highest atomic number. The atomic number of an element is the number of protons in the nucleus of an atom of that element. So, on 6 March in 1869, Dmitry Mendeleev published his first version of the periodic table of the elements. He was a Russian chemist who developed the periodic classification of the elements. And the next important event is Transactions of the Royal Society. Philosophical Transactions is the world's first and longest running scientific journal. It was launched on 6 March in 1665 by Henry Oldenburg, and he was the Society's first secretary who acted as publisher and editor. And the next important event is Royal Society. The Royal Society of London for Improving Natural Knowledge is a learned society and the United Kingdom's National Academy of Sciences. So, on 6 March in 1661, the Royal Society London elected Sir Robert Moray as their first president. And the next important event is First Machine Patent. On 6 March in 1646, Joseph Jenkins received the first mechanical patent in North America. It protected his mill for manufacturing scythes. That was a prelude to the US patent system, which has helped give birth to major industries that have transformed the way we live. So, on 6 March in 1646, the first patent for any machine in the New World was issued by the Pilgrim Bay Colony to Joseph Jenkins. And the next is these are the scientists who have born on 6 March, and the names are Valentina Tereshkova, Harry Coover, Sir Charles Frank, Claude Frederick Armand, Schaeffer, Banton Mackay. And the next is John George Hagen, Aaron Lufkin Dennison, Joseph von Fraunhofer, Jarvis Gilbert, Michel Anglo. And the next is these are the scientists who have passed on 6 March, and the names are John Goodsir, William Whewell, Henry Miller Shreve, John Stevens, Gaurino Gaurini, Santorio. And the next is Hans Albrecht Bethe, Ferdinand von Lindemann, C. Lloyd Morgan, Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr., David Dunbar Brick, Gottlieb Daimler. Thank you so much guys for watching this video, and if you like this video, please do like, comments and subscribe our channel. And please share this video to your friends who are born today. and who want to know what happened in the history of the science today. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.